Okay, so yeah, my previous video stories, you know how it be. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I was focusing on the P's and things like that about today. So we got pan, pana, pelao. So the name of the bread that was on the presentation is planita. Um, I learned the word for quarter the other day is peseta. You know, so there's P's is used a lot, even for stop signs. Stop signs is pare, bus stop is parada. Um, you know, so there's a lot of emphasis on P, right? So we know there's power in the P, right? So papel. All right, so when it comes to money, you see how many correlations with money. So money, pelao, like I told you, pelao is like if you broke as fuck. P, pana, pan is bread. You know what I'm saying? You could break bread with your homeboy, with your pana. Pana is the homeboy. Pan is the bread that y'all breaking. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing I love and that I've noticed about this new language that I'm learning. So on this sign it say bayo. I'm not sure what that means, but so like another thing too is like, you know, when you go to different Spanish speaking or Latina countries, right? It's like they say pesos, right? And even though in Puerto Rico our money is the same as in the States, they still say pesos out here, or pesos, however you say it. But they really, like, it's like I know of that, but in actual reality, I know when they say cash, they say chavo. And the official word for cash is like efectivo. And okay, so another word is paseo. Paseo is like if you walking down a particular, like if there's a particular area, a particular neighborhood where you can walk through and you could like see different stuff, they call it paseo. So, you know, they got Paseo de Diego, which is like previously to where I live, you know, and right now, yo paseo, but I would say like yo caminando, like I'm walking, right? But I could say yo caminando a Paseo de Diego, like I'm walking to Paseo de Diego, even though paseo is like walking, right? So it's almost like okay, for instance, paseo, like you could walking through paseo, there's always money being dealt, and I told y'all like pesos has to deal with money in a sense, right? And so I'm thinking too, I feel like there's a word that's called like playita. Oh, playita is beach. I knew I wasn't tripping, so I seen place. Playita does not mean place. Playita is a neighborhood in Santurce, right by the beach, and it's called playita, and playa is beach. You know what I'm saying? So we can see a lot of correlations with the letter B and the letter P as well. You know, so I just love being able to find the different correlations and the different synchronicities, you know. And so it helps me learn. And also where it's like, you know how in English, like we know there's many different meanings for the same word, and we know that like the Jewish mysticism alphabet and the way that they shape, you know, the different words and the meaning and reasoning and all of that, right? And when it comes to Spanish, it's like a whole nother way. It's the same thing, but it's like a whole nother way. And I'm grateful that, you know, I'm in an environment where I can notice and I can see these different things. And shout out to Prospect Park, Mr. Prospect Park. He recently commented and he said that he grew up in like a Puerto Rican neighborhood, right? Or no, Puerto Rican household. And when I was growing up, the school I went to, there was a lot of people that was Puerto Rican, Dominican, Salvadorian, Colombian, Panamanian, you know, all these different cultures and things like that. So, you know, I really like just like the different synchronicities and stuff. If my voice sounds different, like my voice going through something right now, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, oh yeah, Puerto Rico, Puerto. So this is another thing I learned, right? So if you in San Juan, the city area, you'll say probably Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. But like over west, they say Puerto Rico, right? And that's something I learned based off of observation, right? And it's very interesting to me because sometimes, like I actually lived over west, you know what I'm saying? I actually lived in San Juan as well, so I'm able to see the observation for myself. And sometimes people that have lived in this country their whole life, it's not like they spent a whole lot of time on one side and a whole lot of time on the other side to consistently know the difference. But these are things I've noticed, right, and things I've learned. But sometimes, like, when you're in a space of like, oh, I know everything, blah blah blah, people act like what I'm talking about is wrong, like that, like I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, yo, like, I understand people see time how they see time or whatever, and so I get it. But I feel like I've been able to learn the most actually being in these environments